Howdy, howdy, everybody out there in YouTube land. Welcome to my little slice of social media. So, whether you're a new viewer or somebody returning for the magic, today is our Sunday live magic show, which we just concluded. But I also want to add another segment today, which is a random reading from the book. And this is the book. This isn't necessarily a magic book. This is the book that you want on your shelf, one of the books, so many books out there, for performing and getting better at performing. This is one that you're going to want to have in your repertoire because Ken Weber was and is like the performer's critic. Like, this is the guy who you want. Like, if you're doing a show, he's the guy that you want critiquing you because he's been doing it and doing it and doing it for years. And magic wasn't even his first job. So this guy knows what he's talking about. So you're going to want to pick this up. And if I can, as always, I will put the link down below for Amazon. And that's just a way for the channel to make a little bit of money. If I can't find it on Amazon, then I'll post another site. Or, like recently, we did another book that it's not available for any price that most people are going to pay unless you want to collect it. And in that case, I will let you know where you can find it. And if it is more expensive, well, I'll let you know that as well so that you can make those choices for yourself. So, here we go. Random reading from Maximum Entertainment 2.0 by Ken Weber. This is the revised and expanded book. Here we go. Build to a Climax. This is page 84. So if you have the book, you can follow along. Oh, wait. Okay, now we're going to jump into it. Here we go. Before we get... Okay, this is the 6 pillars of entertainment success. So we've just... Boom. We're right into the climax. Right into the ending as you come to the crescendo of your... I believe the right... I don't know. I'm just throwing this out there. I thought of it earlier. The crescendo of your analog. I'll have to look up to see if that's actually a term. Anyway. Always leave them wanting more. Yes. You want to build up the intensity, but there's got to be something that leaves the magic and the mystery there. Let me get back into his words. Is a showbiz showing that needs to be rethought. Oh, sorry. Let's let him do the talking, and I'll just always leave him wanting more. Is a showbiz saying that needs to be rethought. The original intent is correct. You never want to overextend your welcome, but you cannot leave your audience wanting more because you fail to provide a clear-cut conclusion. If your act is a conveyor belt of tricks and it suddenly stops, your spectators will feel cheated. They want more. They want a final punctuation, a period, or better yet, an exclamation point that gratifies, satisfies, and fulfills their expectations of your entertainment experience. That's why each routine must build internally to a climax, and the entire act must build inexorably to its highest point. And inexorably? Words. That's why we do this, so we can get better. To an outsider, and certainly to many magicians, it would seem that the very nature of magic makes the advice to build to a climax with each trick superfluous. I think we got that one. After all, every trick comes with a built-in climax. Your hand is empty. Now there's a coin in it. A card is selected, and then it rises from the deck. Setup, climax. One follows the other. Ha-cha. However, there's a huge difference between having a climax and building to a climax. To many performers, make the assumption that the audience will, in essence, climax with the performer. Well, in magic and in lovemaking, because I guess they cross paths there, there's a chasm between real life and what you read in the magazines. Each trick must be thoughtfully constructed to build as with an old-fashioned wooden roller coaster. Click, clack, click, anticipation. And the program as a whole must send them back to their lives with a blast-in-the-face rush. Although this section stresses the importance of your final routine, in truth, it's typically more difficult to find ideal openers. Your first few moments set the tone, telegraph your style, and cause the audience to decide if they're going to physically invest themselves in your performance. Ironically, while finding your ideal opening effect may take years, An experienced performer could theoretically mold almost any piece of decent magic into a strong climax. Now, he's going to give an example, but I'm also going to give another example that we just read about to provide context. So, in the Expert at the Card Table book, which you can find the affiliate link for that in the last video, or in the review video I just did for it, Ricky Jay performed a trick directly from that book. And this is the beginner book for most people. He performed it verbatim from the book live in his performance, and it was successful because it's the magician, not just the magic. Okay, now let's get back to his example. Ken Weber's here. Let's see. For example, I've read that Michael Skinner developed a dynamite routine with the classic toy magic trick, the ball and vase. A Svengali deck could be the basis of a dramatic blindfold card stab routine. Truly, any effect that usually receives a strong reaction can be your climax if you properly ramp up the presentation. Surprisingly to some, and another point to make to that is there was an individual doing the cups and balls on Doug Kahn featured him a couple of weeks ago, and he performed it, and most people do the cups and balls as their finale. That's their closeout. That's their call to action. Here we are, we're done. Here's my hat pitch and all that. This guy performs it as his opener because he's just that good. You can do it. You can do it as your opener, your closer. Just depends on the magician and your style. Surprisingly to some, the climax of your show is not necessarily your most amazing effect. In fact, sometimes there's no effect at all at the end. The climaxes of some of the best shows I've seen are nothing more than the performer gathering all the warmth and energy in the room and placing it upon himself. In one of my personal entertainment highlights, for example, you'll read how consummate mentalist Jill Eagles dramatically closes his show, actually just a few moments before his final bow, with the removal of a blindfold. No fireworks, no music, no wham-bam closer, just a slowing down of the excitement with a commensurate outpouring of affection from performer to the audience, and from audience to performer. It's quiet, but it's a rush nonetheless. Simply put, for any climax to be effective, it must be set apart from the body of the show. I can't design a killer climax for you, but I can provide some basic guidelines. We got bullet points here. If you perform at a leisurely pace, increase the energy. If most of your show is fast-paced, slow down. If you use music, either stop the music temporarily or dramatically change the music. If you don't use music, bring music in at the finale. The crescendo, the film score, and other techniques. A reprise of any earlier feat, but this time with a twist, faster or slower, more difficult, new hurdles to overcome, a return to failures or mistakes which had been done straight or as gags and are now brought to successful conclusion. I will use an example from Cosmo. I saw this live a couple of times. His main feature is that he borrows a $20 bill, and it's literally on my poster over here. Let me go get it for you so that we can actually, show you a prop. So this Cosmo, Derek Thomas, Joe Maxwell. This was a fantastic show. He's got the shredder here. You can see that without the light in the way. Got too much lighting. Anyway, so that's Cosmo, and he has the paper shredder. I'll wait until I get back over here to continue. So he puts a $20 bill into the shredder in the envelope, and he did this whole trick with it, and then he's like, here we go, and he just brings over the envelope shredded to the individual, like, sorry, and then just moves on, and then at the end it appears inside the lemon. That's his big thing there. Fantastic. The first time I watched it, I missed it. Now, mind you, where I'm at in my skill level, I saw 99% of the things he did. I saw 99% of the things he did, knew exactly what he was doing, how he did them. I missed the load for the lemon. I missed it. The end, and I was like, wait a minute. And I thought back, and my brother was with me, and he He's like, that's when he did it. And I was like, I missed it. And I loved it. I loved that feeling where I was like, when did he do that? We figured it out later, but that doesn't count, you know? And I love the fact that that happened, because that was the real magic for me. Whatever you do, this is the final conclusion of that, is whatever you do, make certain that your last minutes with the audience stand apart from all that came before. Even simply announcing, I'd like to close my show for you tonight, may serve the purpose perfectly. It sets up the expectation that something extra special is about to unfold, so close attention needs to be paid. And then the next section is varying the texture. But that's where we're going to conclude that reading for today, and we're going to do my final thoughts. I'm going to close out my show with some final thoughts. In your performances, in your finales, it's okay to slow down. It's okay to go and to take a breath, because sometimes you have an important message that you want to share with your audience for the entirety of the act. Sometimes you have a performance that just goes black and the curtains fall, and you get your applause. But other times you want to come forward and you want to sit on the edge of the stage. You want to bring the lights down and just have a little wash of light around you, and you want to just be intimate with the audience because you have more of a connection. No matter how you do it, no matter how you want to present yourself to the audience, you want to remember, always remember, stay positive, stay active, and stay awesome. And hopefully, we see you